Hi,
Hey,
how's it going?
amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Better now.
Yes.
So it is Librada.
Yes.
Librada.
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 Yes.
Okay. And that's
Both
your
correct, to be
middle
honest.
name.
It is, yes.
Okay. Explain to me why you decided to go with that instead of your first.
I think I did reach a point of growth where I organically started taking on, I think, just new space and time. And I was examining kind of the sentiments that I was leading with at the time, and very much so in the camp of freedom. And librada comes from the word libertad, which means liberty, which incoherently means freedom.
Yeah.
And so I realized that that was kind of where I was at that time, and also
Okay.
just where I needed to stay.
How long ago was this?
This was probably 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
So, I had a conversation with like my company and everybody, and I was like, hey, I'm actually going to go by a different name now. And they're like, okay. And I just, updated everything for me.
Yeah.
So, that's why I changed my name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, it's great to have you here, Librada. It's interesting because unbeknownst to me, unbeknownst?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay. You and I don't have much of a history yet,
Right.
but you have done something very common to my other guests,
Yeah.
which is that you have modeled.
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
Yeah, it was,
How did you get into it, and what did that look like for you? And you're not modeling anymore.
no.
Okay.
It was kind of like just with the homies. I think I just support the arts in general. And when, somebody asks me to do something for them or their photography, I just support. And I think that's kind of how I started it.
Okay.
In Dallas, a lot of my homies are just like,
Okay.
yeah,
Got
very
you.
artsy and things like that. And, started doing portraits and just rolled into whatever they need. Honestly, whatever they needed me to do. I was like, yeah, I'm here for it. I'll pull up. And I think I enjoyed it because it allowed me to also just play a role.
Okay.
Which was cool.
Sure.
So yeah, that's kind of how.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. We'll get into that a little bit more. I like to start every episode by just asking, who are you?
Oh, I am everything, everywhere, all at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Did you see that movie?
I was going to say that is a movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I did. Yeah, I loved it.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was great.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like if you really watch it like 4, 5, 6 times, there's something new that you
didn't pick up
each
on.
time.
Yeah, the last time. Mm-hmm.
But I really do feel like that's just
that you're everything, everywhere, all at once. Can you break that down for me?
I can. You wanted this to be like under an hour? No, I'm just kidding. I think, again, this just comes with the growth. And I think some of the larger strides that I've made when it comes to finding my freedom, because I do think it looks different for everybody. Mm-hmm. But just understanding the quantum field and how things respond to frequency, I think I'm just always open. Right. And that's my freedom, is allowing myself to read frequencies, give certain frequencies. And to me, it's like whatever and whenever and wherever. Genuinely, I don't want to be closed off to anything.
Okay.
I don't want to, I think, impede anyone's growth like by putting out too many of my opinions. I think I do find opportunities when I meet people or hear people to see what I can add or like how I can maybe make them think differently or give them new perspective. But ultimately, everyone's on their own journeys and they're going to make their decisions based on where they're at in their particular moment of their journey. And so when I say I'm everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once, it's because I genuinely am really, really open to just different frequencies and aligning myself to the frequency that best serves me, I think, in that space and time. But it just allows me to grow in all the ways when I think of it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you speak about adding to other people's journeys, it sort of brings a question that I ask fairly often, I feel like. Do you feel like there is such thing as true altruism?
Potentially. So I guess when you ask that question, I'm curious, like, what are some of the responses you've gotten? Because I think it could go a lot of different ways.
Sure.
But what are some of the responses that you've heard back when you ask that?
I think it's been a mixed bag, but the majority of the time, the consensus is that there is no such thing as true altruism. And it's not to say that in like a negative way, or like you view the world in such a cynical way. It's just in all of our giving, there is still some getting in some way, shape, or form. And I think that this actually bleeds into a really, really good conversation, because if there was an example of true altruism, I think that you would be the perfect example of that. Speaking of your nephew. So let's address the altruism first, and then we'll touch on your nephew.
Potentially. I would say potentially, yes. And I think it just goes back to exactly how I define how I try to exist.
Okay.
When you start peeling back the layers of like who people are and how we define ourselves, right? I think that is a conscious decision I've made to try to step away from the things that define me as a person. So whether that comes into my occupation, my culture, all these things, like people introduce themselves as X, as, oh, I'm a boxer, oh, as I'm and I've tried to remove that from like my ego, because those things do feed into our ego indirectly, even though if we don't realize it in the moment. I think the underlying communication that fires through our brain is that I am this thing. And then it kind of closes doors. And so that's why I'm like, that's a tough question, because I could see where, yes, true altruism can exist, but I do think it has to exist in a space and time where there's just like a bit more of a broad way of thinking.
Okay.
You're like, nah.
No, not at all. No, I appreciate your perspective on that. I don't think that I've heard it put that way before. Okay. Do you think that you, in your, assisting in other people's journeys in life and offering your perspective and hopefully broadening their own, do you think that there is altruism in that, or do you think?
I think so.
So you get nothing out of that?
Indirectly.
Indirectly, you do get something out of that.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think anytime, because it's also hard sometimes, because you, whether we realize it or not, when you have conversations with people, it can take a lot of energy.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so I can look back at many instances where I've been like, I just drained myself trying to maybe integrate in it more than I should have, or just not protect my energy as much as I should have. And that's where I'm like, yes, sometimes. And then sometimes I just need to,
Absolutely.
You're on your own journey. And so I can sprinkle what I can, but it's really not for me to fix. And I use this lightly, but to fix anyone. And I'm not trying to. I think my hope and dream for like humanity is just that we all lead with love, and whatever that looks like. And in some of those conversations, when I see people are sitting in energy that is so negative and or depriving themselves of something, I think I do try my best to pull them out of that. But it does take a lot of energy.
Would you say that you lean more towards being a fixer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that spans across your friendships, your relationships,
yes.
okay.
Yeah. I like, how can I help? That's me. I'm like, let's talk about it. Even if you just need me to listen, like I can do that too. But we have to be conscious of how much that drains us, because it's still giving, even if you're just sitting and listening. You are internalizing whatever that emotion or whatever. And that is something I do is I like soak things in. I can feel them. I think we're all pretty much empaths in our own ways, but like the empathy that I feel for others is so deep sometimes that I have to really remove myself from certain conversations just to protect my energy, because I'll be there with you. Let's cry. What's wrong? Oh no, But I think that's a blessing too, like that I can feel so deeply.
I think in my research and slowly learning about you, empathy was definitely one of the words that popped up. Because for you to do what you have done by taking your nephew in,
Yes.
it requires an immense amount of empathy.
Oof.
It requires an immense amount of care and flexibility. It requires you, like you said, being open.
Mm-hmm.
It does require, to an extent, your need and desire to want to break generational trauma and,
Yes.
just sort of being somewhat of a fixer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So walk me through
Yeah.
this process of you becoming your nephew's legal guardian and what sort of sparked
To
this.
sigh on this one, because
The sigh on this one.
you guys. When I tell you, it was not really ever my dream to be a parent. It wasn't. And I have never grown so much in my life than I did at that moment in time when I took him in, because I lost my freedom overnight. I was not prepared. I was not emotionally ready for something like that. I was still very much in my healing journey, and I didn't know I was in a healing journey. I think it had just kind of started for me. And the biggest thing I think it highlighted for me was what we all experience as people, which is we're raised by hurt people, right? And these are things that are carried down generation. And feeling not only the trauma of my family, but like ancestral trauma that I feel deeply as well, that I've also been working on healing in my own ways. It became apparent to me how much I was carrying from my circumstances into not having to be a parent. And then it just makes you look differently at your parents and why they were the way that they were. So everything for me was really, 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 really hard, because that was like end of 2019, and then going into early 2020, everything shut down. And then we were inside together all day, and I was like, I'm losing my shit. This is not, oh no.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, we went through the trenches.
And he was how old at this point?
He moved when he was 9. He was just turning 10.
Okay.
He's 16 now.
Okay.
So he's in high school. But yeah, I had to find us. Number one, I had to move.
Yeah.
Because I had like a little studio, and I was like, oh, I need a 2-bedroom. So that was something I did pretty much within the first couple of weeks of knowing that, he was coming. And so I did it pretty much immediately. Right after that, I had to find a school, so that's kind of how I got into Silver Lake, because I had to like think what's a good school district. It's just nothing I had to really think of.
Gotcha.
So yeah, when I say I turned my life upside down and lost my freedom overnight, like that's exactly what happened. And it just amplified all of the things that I needed to work on. But then also, I'm sure put him through quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Because he had to feel all of what I was feeling.
Absolutely.
Whether I wanted him to or not. We're not perfect people. And he's such a good kid and like an amazing person. And, I have to attribute some of that to just the fact that I was able to be there for him, in the way that he needed me to, even though I wasn't able to be there for myself at that point in time. I did my best. I made my mistakes. And I'm going to continue to make my mistakes. But yeah, he's mine.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Every day's a battle. No, I'm just kidding.
No, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. It's so interesting because I've given that thought before. I'm the oldest of 6.
Wow.
And the ages are, it's me, and then I have a 30-year-old sister, an 18-year-old brother. They're going to kill me. 15-year-old brother.
I mean, it's a lot of siblings.
12-year-old brother and a 7-year-old sister.
Nice.
And I've given that thought plenty of times. Like, what if, God forbid, anything happens to my parents, and me and or my sister, that's the 30-year-old, has to sort of take legal guardianship, and I without a doubt would do it without hesitation. But just like
that's
you said,
selfless of you.
I mean,
that's a lot.
Luckily, I love them. So,
yeah.
But it is something that you think, it's like, and I've thought about it. I was like, you do give away your freedom instantly.
Yeah.
Like it's gone.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it does require a certain level of selflessness. And I've heard of different situations, even familial situations, where they just couldn't hack at his parents and they just would skirt out, and, situations like that. And it just breaks my heart. So to have heard this story with you, I was like extra excited to have you on.
I appreciate it.
So,
if there's anything I could say to people that are parents or in relationships or whatever, the only takeaway that I would say you have to remember is you have to continually put yourself first. You cannot feed into anybody if you're on empty. So whatever that looks like for you in your marriage, with your kids, whatever, I tell people, like, if it's carving out 2 hours on a Sunday to go sit, you know what I'm saying, at the beach or whatever, like, we're going to deplete ourselves faster than we're going to refill ourselves half the time, not to mention all the distractions in the world outside of your family. There just has to be a bit of understanding, I think, from your loved ones, your immediate people that you're responsible for, that this is important too. And if you can't vocalize that, they're not going to be able to reciprocate that for you. But I feel like once people can identify ways that they need to put themselves first, whatever that looks like, I just hope that people would be supportive of that. And so a way I've done that for myself is little things, like I don't drive him to school. He has to take the bus.
Okay, that's fair.
Not in
Nothing
his
wrong
eyes.
with that. Nothing wrong with that.
And then, but that's because I need to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? My thing for putting me first is my day starts like this.
Yeah.
This is how I start my day. Yeah. And I'm going to do that every day, and I'm not going to feel bad about it, right? So where any parent might look at me and say, "That's why would you make him take the bus?" Because he needs to learn. Yeah. He's gonna grow up, and I'm not gonna always be here. Yeah. And I'm going to the gym because
is that a thing now? I didn't know that it was like a taboo.
So many parents bring, which is great. Kudos to them. I don't think it's a bad thing. I did too.
Oh, okay.
That's
I didn't know that was a bad thing.
But it's just, he just acts, sometimes he acts like it's the end of the world. And I get it too, because he has to get up earlier and he has to take a couple buses and it's a whole thing. But you gotta learn.
He's learning life skills.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's an example of, I'm
carving
not wavering on
for
this
yourself.
thing.
Absolutely.
The thing that I do in the morning is go to the gym.
Absolutely.
And if I take you to school, can I go to the gym?
I think that's more than fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's more than fair.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
I think something else that made your story that much more interesting to me, when I say I did my research, I did my research.
Okay. Oh, no.
And you can answer as much as you want or leave whatever you feel comfortable with. Yeah. So I felt as though if there was anybody that had a reason to sort of feel jaded or to feel not as open as you are, it would be you. And so I did read that you have been in a past situation, and we've all been in, past situations or relationships that weren't necessarily healthy or toxic or whatever the case may be. You in particular have been in a situation where it wasn't very savory.
Correct.
And I am curious as to how you were able to navigate that situation, get out of there, and then heal so much so that you are now able to then take on such responsibility and being like, you know what, I don't want to just stand aside and let another young man, potentially end up on the wrong side of things. Yeah.
Ooh. You really did do some digging. Oh, yeah, I don't talk about this. I was a completely different person back then. Okay. I was looking for support outside of myself. I only knew how to do this. I could never find peace within myself. I felt like that with relationships. Like I just kind of always wanted to be in a relationship or with somebody. And if I broke up with somebody at some point, like someone would just come and want to date me right away. I'd be like, oh, perfect, because I couldn't sit with myself. And so in that situation, I stayed longer than I should have. And I could not see beyond where I was at. I was very, very stuck. And it's so interesting to me when you do hear about some of these stories and people are like, why didn't you just leave? And I'm like, bro, I lived that. And I understand. I think we find a lot of love and comfort in what we know. And comfort really is like a silent killer sometimes, I think, in all areas of life. All areas of life. If you're not finding some sort of forward movement and you're super stagnant, then there's not much that you're really doing for yourself. You're
1000%.
just stuck in a loop, in that frequency loop, going back to the quantum field, and you can't see it. So I think I had a few really close friends that knew what was going on, and they were probably the only reason I was okay, like my sounding board. And I've honestly just ended up moving. One thing I did do for myself there was kind of after I got out of that situation, I didn't feel safe, or like I got into boxing like right away, pretty much. And I started fighting. I started training. About 3 months after I started training, I had my first fight, and I won.
Congrats.
Yeah, and I was like, hell yeah, okay, I can stand up for myself if I need to, and
Absolutely.
I still can. So if anybody, if you have a problem, you just call me. I pull
Watch
up.
out.
Yeah, at any point in time. I love fighting. I do.
I love fighting.
I do love
I just
fighting.
love fighting.
I do.
Okay.
It's a sport. It's okay. I don't want any conflicts. I just
Okay, got you. In
Lo-
the ring,
love and
in
light.
that square circle.
Yeah.
Okay,
Love
got
and
you.
light most of the time.
Got you.
Not all the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm not a killer, but don't push me.
Don't push me. But I felt like that helped me mentally a lot. And I think, eventually when I was in LA for a certain point of time, like a certain amount of time, I was able to kind of tell what happened. And that's kind of when some of the articles and things started coming out. But yeah, some people hate me and some people don't hate me, and that's okay. A lot of people think a lot of it was a lie, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I don't need external validation. But I felt like it was the right time and the right circumstance and situation to kind of just say what I went through.
Yeah.
So that was healing. I learned that, because I am not much of a talker about things. And so once I was able to externalize it a bit, it actually made me release it, which was nice. Not expected either. I didn't think I was going to feel better, after saying anything. But yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm in LA.
And now you're in LA and you're thriving.
Thriving.
And you're thriving.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've sort of touched on who you are, who would you say you're becoming?
Infinite possibilities, man. And I use that with every cell of my heart. I'm so excited about being present, even just being here in this moment. I feel very just highly favored, highly protected. And my only hope would just be that I can continue maybe to be a sounding board in some capacity for my nephew, for anyone that I'm directly connected to, anybody I'm indirectly connected to. If I've ever loved you, I always will. And if I haven't loved you, I love you still. And that is something I really, really live by. So I think my hope and dream is just to continue to exist where I'm supposed to. I don't want to define it too much.
Okay.
But just in a space of growth and inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
You touched on it already a little bit, and how something that you do for yourself is going to the gym.
Yeah. I
Physical activity is vitally important, I feel like.
It is.
What is something else that you do for yourself to find peace?
Oh, I love solitude.
just
Oh.
just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
The homies know, I love y'all. I'm sorry for not calling. I'm probably not going to pick up the phone first. I am a bad friend. But I love being at the crib. I love being alone. And especially like if my nephew has like a thing or what, if I got the house to myself,
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Like, please, I'm busy. What are you doing? Nothing.
Yeah,
Exactly
I am
what I'm
enjoying my
supposed
rent.
to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I love solitude. I think some people equate it to loneliness, but there is, you sit with loneliness long enough and it turns into peace and solitude. And you have to get over that discomfort and that like feeling of, FOMO and like all the things that social media make us feel and the media make us feel in general. But you sit with your silence long enough and it becomes a really beautiful solitude, but that just comes also with healing.
Would you say that you've always been that way, or do you think okay.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, I've been through it. I've been through it.
Okay.
Listen, I have been through it. Listen, I am so grateful that I have come this far and that I'm in this space, but it took me.
Yeah.
I've seen hell, you know what I mean? So I feel very blessed that I came out of all of that. A lot of it is with upbringing. A lot of it is with other things, but we can't fault our parents for who they are. We can't fault anybody for who they are. So I think you forgive everyone around you first, and then it allows you to forgive the versions of yourself that rolled out of that and like why you are the way you are and the certain characteristics that you lean into and why, and the loops and the habits. As much as I've grown, like I got some habits that will die hard or not die and stay with me forever. And that's okay too. You know what I mean?
What are some of these habits? As I adjust my chair,
you sinking?
I'm sinking, yeah.
I thought you were leaning a little bit. I was like, you look a little lopsided.
What are some of these habits?
I think triggers in general. So like
triggers or your reactions to the triggers?
Both.
Okay.
There's things I shouldn't be triggered by that I'm triggered by.
Okay.
There's reactions I have that I wish I didn't have. I think I'm human first. We all are. We're human first. I don't care how much that you've grown. There are just certain chapters of my life that I can go back to at any point in time and still sit there comfortably. And I think that is an important thing for me on how I live my life, which is I'm never going to be too far ahead to not be able to come back and sit with my people. You know what I'm saying? I accept everyone for whatever chapter they're at in their life, and I can still like resonate with you, and the way you need me to, I can meet you there. I'm not going to be able to not meet anybody where they're at. And I hope other people can think that way too. Just if there's something that's needed from me, I'm here for a reason, and vice versa. There may be something you can give to me. And you hear that, I think oftentimes people are like, well, I don't want to go back to my neighborhood and da-da-da-da. Well, it's okay, it's party. You don't have to turn it all off and completely become like this whole different person and never go back. Again, everything, everywhere, all at once. It doesn't have to define you, but we shouldn't have to feel like we can't resonate with different parts of ourselves because we've grown so much in a different direction. I think it's just all as pertinent as, the next chapter.
Okay.
It's like you're observing me.
I'm just listening.
Yeah.
I'm taking it all in. I'm learning.
You are
learning.
listening.
Okay. I have to say that the way that we met.
Yes.
I always find it nerve-wracking approaching, especially women.
Yeah.
At the gym.
Fair.
And I've seen you there. I see you there pretty much every morning.
Yeah. We be getting it in.
Yes, you be getting it in. I look at you, so I'm just like, is she training for something? What is going on?
I love it.
And so when I started this up, I knew that I needed to get more strong women on here, and I was just like, that girl at the gym. I gotta ask her. And so I was like, I remember I was waiting for you to like kind of like be in a position that would like open, but it wouldn't be creepy if I walked up to you.
Dead.
And
you picked a good time.
Yeah, I did. I felt like I did.
You did.
But I know that I'm always just, I was shaking. I was just like, just because I don't want it to come across in like the wrong way.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
Now, I'm sure that you've probably been approached before at the gym or at the grocery store or whatever the case may be. And after sitting and speaking with you now and hearing how open you are,
Yes.
does that apply across the board? Or, okay, so like if anybody approaches you at the gym, it's okay.
I think, yeah, I'm pretty open.
Okay.
I feel like I am. I feel like, however,
Okay.
discernment.
Okay.
I can read energy like that.
Mm-hmm.
You were very cool. I could
Okay.
tell immediately. But there's times where I'm just like, the fuck, bro? Especially if I'm so if I am in a grocery store and I'm doing my thing and you're trying to talk to me or like hit on me or something, I'm probably not going to be as reciprocating because I'm like, bro, no. But yeah, I think discernment and like the way that you approached me was super chill. Like I didn't feel any type of way. I'll say that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
And you picked the right time with the break.
Okay, all right, good. I had another question for you.
Yeah.
You try to take up less space.
Yeah. And I think like when you asked me earlier, like, what's your goal?
Mm.
And it is really just to take up less space. I can feel like, when somebody, like even at the gym and bring like this fucking bag and they have this and they put 5 things down and then but they're going to jump over here and do this thing. And then they come back and then, well, I'm going to put my towel on that piece of equipment. I'm just like, you're so rude. Like that's so inconsiderate. And there's just little triggers like that I have that I don't know if I'm ever going to get rid of, to be honest. I don't care how much I grow. I'm going to be like, yo, not cool.
Fair enough.
That because I feel so affected by that, I think I try to take up less space with people. Like I'm just trying to always like be considerate in general, but
Sure.
Yeah, like I can't ever picture myself like buying a huge mansion or something like that. Like I want less. I want to disconnect more, and I want to like,
but also connect more.
when I'm supposed to, I will. I feel
Okay.
like that. I really do. I feel like
Disconnect from what?
maybe like just media and like,
Okay. How much you consume.
yeah, probably how much I consume, but also external expectations. I'm very intentional about what I expect of people, and I want the same thing back. I don't want people to expect too much of me because I may not have it to give. And I'll be honest with any and everybody about like the capacity that I have at that time. So whether it's spend time, grab a coffee. If I don't have the capacity, I'm going to tell you I don't have the mental capacity to do that right now. And I don't want anyone to take it personal. You know what I mean? And my friends don't. But I also probably need to be more intentional about reaching out. And I have to work on that.
Okay.
So I think in general, I do want to take up less space. I think that'll form over time, but I just have that awareness of like, I don't like that. We are so good at talking about what we don't like as people. Listen, I see that too. But yeah, I think that's also just a genuine, like consistent goal that I have in many areas of life. It's like, how do I take up less space here?
Well, what do you like?
Solitude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my thing.
Okay.
I know. Also the sun. I'm basically a plant. I could just all day. I am a plant.
I feel like we all are in some way, shape, or form.
I need the sun so bad.
Yeah.
I like, and that's one reason I really do stay here in LA, because we just are so blessed with that. Like people say they don't understand why we live here, and I'm like, I do, and I don't really need to explain it. I love it here. This is the coldest it gets, and I can just put on a hoodie.
Yeah.
This is
And
my
be
vibe.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more things.
Yeah.
Your job.
Yeah.
Your job. It's
You see
called.
how my tone just like went up? I love my job, man. I'm getting so excited. I
That's
love my
such
people.
a positive thing. Yeah.
I love
That's
my
such
people
a great
so
reaction.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about your job.
Y'all can find work-life balance. I promise you. It's so attainable. Think True has just been like my family through and through. And family in the sense of like we support each other, but also they really accept me for who I am. They really let me be exactly who I am as a person. And I'm rough around the edges. Like I need a little bit of polishing, but you know, this is just who I am. This is who I've become over the years, and I feel so supported in all the ways, like by my Think True family. So when you hear the term like bring your whole self to work, like they really mean that. And I mean that too. Like for anybody on my team, like it's like I accept any and everything, and we're gonna figure it out. And you know, as long as things are getting done, I feel like it's there's no space for like negativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the experiential marketing world, and specifically with Think True, I do like events, very much so in sports and marketing. But we lead with impact, and we're intentional about leaving the communities better than the way that we found them, right? So if we're bringing in a big brand to do this thing, we need to make sure that we are really tailoring to the crowd and the community that we're going into. And so a lot of our work is just based in impact.
You were explaining to me your last event, and I think as an empath, doing those types of events can really feed your soul.
Oof. I'm so happy right now. I'm still on cloud 9 from that event. I really am.
I was going to say, I feel you have found like a space where it feeds you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's a beautiful thing.
I'm fed, but I'm also like just connecting more in general with like purpose. You know, I'm intentional about not looking for a thing or not looking for a purpose, because I feel like that allows you to operate in a space of lack. And anytime you operate in a space of lack, you don't really attract like what it is that you should have.
Space of lack.
Yes.
What is space of lack?
Operating in a space of lack, sometimes I feel like people call it manifestation, and it's not.
Okay.
When you're saying, I want $1 million, but every time you open your bank account, you feel like a pit in your stomach. Your energy isn't matching the frequency that you're trying to attain. And you can't really attain anything because you're operating in a space of lack, and your frequency is operating in a space of lack, unless your frequency matches the outcome that you already have. Because we already all have any outcome that we could possibly want. It's just in a parallel universe. I know, I just said it out loud, and I was like, I usually don't talk about this to people out loud, and I sound like I know what I sound like right now. So yep. But it's true.
No, it's fine.
It is true. Everything I'm saying is true. But so when you operate from a space of lack, your frequency doesn't allow you to really match the outcome that already exists, right? And we can all attain whatever we want. We just have to match that frequency, because the universe doesn't read words, manifestations, and things like that. It reads energy. And if your energy doesn't match what you want, it's not actually going to align to you.
Bars. That was great.
No, that sounded like the most LA shit ever.
No, I think that was great. I think the way that you put it was different than I feel like I've heard.
Okay.
So it was easier for me to receive that.
Okay, good. As long as it's been received by somebody. Sorry, everybody else.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And it's funny because I felt like that is something that I needed to hear, like at this moment.
Good.
I feel like there are a lot of things that I'm trying to achieve in these next coming months, next year. And you're absolutely right. It's in those moments where I genuinely feel it. It actually starts to happen.
I love
and it's
that.
in those moments when I'm like, God, what's going on? Like, what is happening right now? Blah, 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 blah. Or why is it not happening right now? And that it's just like, like nothing is happening.
The quantum field doesn't respond to hard work. It responds to coherence. It responds to consistency.
Do you offer lessons on the quantum field? Or okay.
Yeah. I could talk about it all day. We get a little wine, a little whiskey, something. We can have a good chat.
Just go to Librada.com and sign up for the quantum field.
I would love that. Yes, and it will involve alcohol, because that's how I exist as a person.
Okay.
But yeah, so frequency, I feel like too, when it comes to like a space of lack, it's really hard to just make that shift and be like, I'm just gonna be on this free. Like, it's just not realistic. It's a daily practice. And so that's where I feel like the word manifestation has been misconstrued. Because even when you think about like relationships, if, somebody's like, women want to get married and have babies so quickly because we tell ourselves these lies about whatever. I'm not even gonna get into that today. That's a whole nother conversation.
Part two.
Part two. But when someone is feeling like they're missing a relationship, they're not whole, right? Because they don't have a person or they don't have a husband and all their friends, and in comparison, it's just like you're operating from a space of lack. So it's really hard for this thing to find you. It's hard to fill that gap because your frequency that you're emitting is that I don't have and I need, and the universe doesn't respond to that, right? And so then what happens is somebody finds someone who's supposed to be a chapter, and there's a small alignment for X period of time, and it fills this hole that they wanted, and so they hang on to it forever and ever and ever. I guarantee you it's not going to be forever and ever and ever, but sure, for whatever period of time that it works, that frequency, that alignment wasn't there originally, right? So it's not going to be something that just magically, I think, continues. And that's just the law.
Yeah.
But, and that's why people sometimes are so miserable in these marriages, in these relationships, because they held on to something that was just supposed to be a chapter in their life when really that maybe wasn't their person. You know what I mean? And so that's okay. We live, we learn. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I think because everyone's always operating for the space of lack, from a space of lack, the second it's filled, they don't want to lose it. And then they lose sight of really the whole purpose, which is just love. It's just love. We have that love in ourselves. Like we can literally find that wonderful, amazing feeling here. And only when you love yourself the most is when you can really find your person. Really.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to title this episode Space of Lack.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
Space of Lack. Okay. I'm not going to keep you much longer.
No worries. However I can help.
Last thing.
Yeah.
If there was a word of advice, something that you live by every single day, something that you would offer to someone that is suffering from a space of lack, or is in a situation where they've probably stayed way longer than they should have, they're facing the back end of a situation that could leave them jaded or anything like that, what is one thing that you would say?
It definitely has to do with love, but you do have to lead with love. And what I mean by that is, in a space of, let's say you're in a situation you shouldn't be in, or a job that you don't like, or whatever the case may be, like, if you find a thing to focus your love energy on within that, it just helps you reconfigure your relationship with it, right? And so you hate your job, but you love this one thing, this one aspect about it. Reconfigure your mind to lead with that, because what's going to happen is that vibration is going to help you move into a new space and time within that job. Maybe a new door opens, or a new person gets hired, or you get a new boss, or whatever the case may be, because you've allowed yourself to vibrate at a level of love that changes the entire frequency of your relationship with that thing. Same thing if you're in a relationship you shouldn't be in, or trying to get out of a relationship that's bad for you. What is a thing that you love that you can focus on? Maybe it's a new hobby. Maybe it's a new shirt you really wanted. It really can be so small, but find ways to put yourself first within all these situations that prove to be obstacles and challenges, because that vibration alone breaks through everything every time. It changes the entire trajectory of your outlook, whatever perspective you had on that. It can flip it over completely, and you won't notice it directly in your environment. And I think that's where a lot of us go wrong, is that we make a change and then we're like outside, and then we're like, where's the change in my environment? Like everything looks the same. And the change happens here. It's subtle. It's not an instant gratification, but that reverb just echoes through space and time, like instantly. And you may not notice it here, But you change this and it changes your world. It changes your perspective of the world, the perspective of the obstacle, whatever issue that you have changes because you changed here in your heart. In your heart space and time is a very real thing. When you breathe into your heart versus your lungs, it just resets you, right? And so if you can take moments of reset too, to breathe into your heart space, you'll see whatever moment you're going through at that time, whatever trigger you have at that time, like it's not that serious because you can just breathe through it into your heart. But yeah, I think that's it, is lead with love and put yourself first. That was a long answer to your question.
No, I love it. Yeah.
But love really is that vibration that just breaks through everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Great. I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah. We're going to lead with that for the rest. Everyone lead with that for the rest of the year, going into 2026. And then when 2026 starts, find something new that you love. You can keep changing it over and over again, but that vibration should be prominent for you every day. Every day. Yeah. That's all I got.
That's more than enough. This has been amazing. This is awesome.
No,
Thank
I
you for
appreciate you.
taking the time and for sharing space with me and for sharing
Likewise.
yourself with me. Like this is,
You did some research.
I did some
I
research.
wasn't expecting all that.
I did. And I appreciate you being open to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Definitely. Appreciate you.